Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
The new Edion expressed excitement as they danced and rejoiced before the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawari Benedion, who also joined in the dance. As visiting and paying of homage to various homes of senior elders continued, the initiates spent 7 days performing diverse kinds of rites as required by tradition. They were furnished with rules and regulations regarding their new office as Edion.
That I grew up in this community to the point that they have now also chosen me as an elder in this community. It's a thing of great joy. All thanks to the Esama of Benin, my people, my family, everybody, all Okada community for this great honor. I'm very, very grateful.
Well, this is my brother. I'll call him my uncle because he grew up with my father. I'm so proud of him because we are doing the same rituals as the Edions of the Okada. It is our duty for us to make this place a greater place, for outsiders to come and see the goodness of God in Okada. And I'm proud of every one of us here. So shall it be to each and every one of us in Jesus' name.
Odion ma Okada zima Esama zima Dion Bona zima Dion Obala zima Dion Malawe Mari Esama Dion na Nimado Pome Sama Nimado Beken Sama Emana Dio Warena Esama Magbeken Osaba Obuyo Bitone Aba no get Tony Maga no diami Magame Manido Beken na Ima Yafe Ima Ato Ima Agmo Orokpa Igudori Ima Adi Awogene all the Tiagbo Yano Emi Magame we need just to know me on farm
In Esama, in our father's house, in respect of our initiation to elders Edion level. As tradition demands, we are here today to come and also pay our homage to him, for him to also pray for long life and prosperity.
The climax after 7 days was paying of homage again to the Edion way, where he gave the initiate the full rights to function and to henceforth participate in meetings with Edion. It will go down in the history and minds of Okada community, Ovia people, Edo State, and Nigeria in general. The ambience, style, and the colorful ceremony associated with the 2025 initiation into the Edion Council of former Governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosaka Igbenedion, his brothers Bright Ayamekwe Igbenedion, Honorable Charles Osenwige Igbenedion, Peter Osawari Igbenedion, Dr. Fred Osawuni Igbenedion, Barrister Mike Osane Igbenedion, Executive Director Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Ogbedio Wonse, Honorable Efosa Douglas Igbenedion, Ukbonwa Igbenedion, Osawe Igbenedion, Edosa Igbenedion, Dr. Daniel Omarege Igbenedion, as well as Agbong Steve Igbenedion, among other sons of Okada.
All right, now a very good morning to you. Of course, that's the curtain raiser sound for there. Once you hear that, definitely you know that the program is on this morning on ITV, on independent television. Today is Wednesday, and of course, the 24th day of the month of December 2025. Now, we've got hours. By my calculation here, we have 16 hours, 57 minutes, and of course 8 seconds before it's Christmas. Now the time keeps counting down, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and before you know it, it's going to be the next 24 hours. So we want to say Merry Christmas to you, and of course a prosperous 2026 ahead. Well, today on the program, not always alone, the way I will always come with my crew members here. I've got Lagos, I have Abuja, and of course, I have, Inogata Nusakai also here in Benin, the corporate trainer, so that he tells you what you need to know as the program, goes on. Well, so good to know this morning. I've got Ikarata. Now, Ikarata, I like your cap, and also Messelina is also there in Abuja. Now, I'll start with Ikaro. Ikaro, good morning.
Well, very wonderful morning, Evans. How you calculated that reminded me of when we were in secondary school. The moment of primary school, precisely. The moment the Harmattan haze starts, we mentally go off our academics and we start to recount how it will be for Christmas. We never knew that Evans can calculate so quickly, knowing the hours, the seconds, and the minutes left to hit Christmas and go after that. Stew, that stew that your neighbor will be cooking, and some 8 kilometers away, you can perceive it, and or somebody cook a stew, maybe somewhere in March or in February, and you are asking who is cooking Christmas stew this time. We understand that.
There's anything I remember the Christmas for. I remember my mom, my mom, and I would say kudos to you. I know that you are going to be giving it out again tomorrow. Now, those nostalgic feelings and, things that we cannot forget in a hurry are the very essence of Christmas. The excitement that comes along with it, and of course, all the razzmatazz. That's the beauty of Christmas. Mercy, a very good morning to you, Mercy.
Good morning. Evans, good morning, Iharata. It's a beautiful day here.
Okay, I think it appears we're having some issues there. All right, so like, I said a while ago, Iharata was, so quick to also reason with me. All right, so now if you ask me to calculate that again, like what I said a while ago, that the seconds keep on counting down. So 16 hours, 54 minutes, and of course 40 seconds left now before tomorrow. So it keeps counting down and down and down, and that's just the way it is. All right, so it's also a time to take stock, and when we say take stock now, we are looking at the year that is coming to an end in another few days, the year 2025. And I think personally, individually, we'll begin to look at how the year has fared, and of course the things we did and the things we never did. All right, so for us as a state, we also begin to reckon, most especially that we'll have a government here. So that's going to form the basis of what we're going to be discussing today in Benin. We're going to be looking at the 2025, budget. Budget performance is what we call it. So let's see how the budget has performed. Budget now, that's the 2026 budget, has just been passed into law. But before we start looking at all that, we're going to be talking about the 2025 budget in Edo State. Let's see how the budgets are performed. We tend to have a seasoned analyst here so that we can do some great talks as we get along, in the program this morning. Now, Iharata, what are you looking at in Abuja?
Thank you very much, Evans. We would be looking at the very pathetic state of the Nigerian road during Christmas. This is one Christmas season where, for many of you who are in Benin, I don't know how you've been able to navigate, some of you, through the complexity of traffic in Benin as a transversing point for those coming from Delta, coming from Lagos, the Ore axis, passing through Benin, even if it's the Benin bypass, the Agbo bypass, and others. The roads appear to be in very pathetic state. The Abuja-Lokoja road is not looking any better. One that appears to be in its worst form. Like what I said, sometimes when you talk about the bad state of the road, and I share that with the minister, the first thing they want to paint you is that you are one of the persons who don't like the Lagos Coastal Road. And I told him, no, I don't hate that road. But the fact that other roads are bad doesn't mean that we won't tell you, Engineer Dave Umahi, that the roads are bad. We shared that argument at the villa early December. I told him I had traveled and that road is bad. If nothing is done, we'll have a very horrible Christmas traveling. And he told me to confess positively. And when the traffic gridlock started, I sent him a text message. He never replied. And I hope very strongly that so we'll be looking at, okay, that was one that happened yesterday. That one, I went there with the ITV cameraman. We went there and we actually look at this particular road, Evans. If you just allow me a little time to explain. This particular portion of the road is at Abacha Barracks. This road is located 3 minutes to the office of the president. 3 minutes from the barracks to Ewa A is 1 minute. Ewa A to the Aso Rock Presidential Villa is 1 to 2 minutes. So this is 3 minutes from the villa. The federal road is bad. It's very, very bad. And ironically, the truck that fell was heading to the Minister of Works village in the Boya Bakeleke area. And the people there told me, I told him if he had fixed that road, the truck going to his place would not have had that. Look at the road. This particular bad road is just 3 minutes to the office of the Commander-in-Chief, Federal Road under Dave Umahi. So when you see a Benin bypass in pathetic state, when you see Lokoja Road in pathetic state, then Evans and Miscellanea, you will not be too worried because it appears everywhere. But when you talk, the minister will tell you. So this morning on TMI, we'll be looking at the state of the road at a season of festivity, the very sorry state, and all what they will show you is the Lagos Coastal Road. That's beautiful. We love that road. But when other roads are bad, then we won't keep quiet because persons now are going to be badly stuck across the and Benin. The one in Abuja, there is still the Lokoja Road for that. And please, I want to appeal, Evans, the media houses who are trying to be pro-government, don't record Abuja Gogolada Road and show that as Abuja Lokoja Road. Go and take it from Abaji to Kutunkarfe, Kutunkarfe to Lokoja, Lokoja to Obajana Junction. Then you will show that road, not when you take one particular stretch, you show that as Abuja Lokoja Road. No, you are being deceptive. Most part of the road are in bad state. I'll be looking at that this morning on our discussion just a day before Christmas, a day of massive travel, massive exodus of persons going to celebrate. And please, Evans, Abuja is getting empty. Abuja is getting empty, Mr. Lena, Abuja is getting empty. We're seeing an empty city. It's getting empty and it's traditional. By tomorrow it will get very empty. That's the first batch of those who are going for exodus. The second batch will start after Christmas. By New Year, we'll have a city where almost everybody is with you, Evans, in Benin, those around the villages. That's the state of what Abuja is now. What we'll be looking at this morning, the bad state of the road at Christmas.
Well, Ikarat, I must thank you so much for letting us to know what happened, recently in Abuja. Now, I think people must understand when why the price of tomato and pepper will just go high. I mean, that's on the lighter side. I mean, those tomato and pepper that we saw, crashing on the road would have been the one coming to Benin and other parts of the country. Well, in Benin here, I think we have our own fair share, talking about the roads. But in Benin, concerns are more on the road usage. I mean, the festive period is good, but the way most motorists use our road, it's very, very concerning. And not only motorists alone, we have traders that will leave, they take their wares, from the market, and they want to shade almost at the middle of the road. I mean, you come to New Benin Market and Benin City, and of course, you'll be so surprised what people are doing this 21st century. I mean, we're not helping ourselves. The Yuletide is good. Christmas is just one day, but let us not throw cautions to the winds and behave as if we don't reason at all. Anyway, Messelina, I think we can have you now. Messelina, a beautiful Messelina. Good morning.
Beautiful morning to you, Evans. Good morning, Iharata. You guys are looking good. Merry Christmas. I mean, Christmas. I don't know. At my age, I'm still very excited. I just feel Christmas has those feelings, and whenever it comes, there's this feelings that goes with it. You're always excited. I mean, despite the situation of the country, I'm still excited. I mean, you still need to thank God for everything. Okay, from Lagos, basically today, we saw 2 days ago that the 315 pupils and teachers that were kidnapped in Niger State, that the remaining 100 has been rescued. So is it that the security, they're working? We saw that they escorted them back to Mina, 2 days ago, and them reuniting with their families is a good thing to Christmas with them. And most of the videos we saw of those children, most of them are malnourished already. I mean, probably they weren't eating well and stuff like that. And we saw that they have been rescued, and a lot of speculations, a lot of questions saying that has anybody been captured? These people, any of the kidnappers, have been captured? Saying that these students or these pupils rather and the teachers have been rescued and nobody has been captured. Was ransom paid? That is what a lot of Nigerians are asking. Are schools safe now? That is what a lot of Nigerians are asking. So basically, that is what we're going to be talking today from Lagos. Merry Christmas once again.
Merry Christmas, mercy to you, and of course, Merry Christmas to our very esteemed viewers all around the world. Well, the program is this morning on ITV, Wednesday's edition with Evans Hugi Karata, and of course, Messelina in Lagos. We'll take a short pause now so that we'll join Inuagata Nusahai, the corporate trainer, so that he tells us, what we need to know this time. Please stay tuned.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
ITV.
TV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Bully, we're talking about. That's what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
The Ekoko masquerades from Ute village, whose cult is connected with Obaeware and his mother, Elere, appear on this occasion to bless the Oba. Ekoko is a ritual masquerade that dances to please the guests and the Oba.
Inuarata Nosahai remains my amiable name, and you are welcome to this segment of the program. Always elated, delighted to come your way every Wednesday since the last 15 years and 10 months to add value to your day. And this morning we are continuing our psychological safety series. You know, last week Wednesday we looked at 4 warning signs that your team is losing psychological safety. And this morning we are going to zero on 4 ways to restore psychological safety back to your team. If your team is losing psychological safety, what are some things you need to do to restore the psychological safety back? Remember, psychological safety is about creating an environment where people have the liberty, they have the freedom to be able to express themselves in terms of idea contribution, admitting mistakes without fear of being shamed or embarrassed. But in an environment where the environment is not psychologically safe, you know, such a situation whereby team members can bring their innovation to the table, bring their ideas to the table, be able to admit mistake, will be absent. And if team members are not bringing their ideas and innovation to the table, it means you are not getting the best out of them. If they are not admitting mistakes, if they are not bringing their errors to the table, it also means that they are going to bring about a very huge loss for your organization or business. So this morning, the focus is 4 ways to restore psychological safety back to your team. The first one is for you to reduce fear of leaders, because one of the things that leads to a situation whereby an environment is not psychologically safe is when the team members are afraid of the leaders or the boss, of that particular team or organization or workplace. So you need to reduce fear of leaders. When there is fear, what it's going to do, it will short circuit the ability of the people, to come up with amazing ideas, to come up with initiatives, to come up with creativity. It's going to short circuit it. So you have to take that responsibility towards restoring psychological safety by ensuring that you reduce fear of leaders.
when team members are afraid of leaders, it means that there is an emotional disconnect. There is an emotional gap between leadership and the people. And you need to see that, you fix that emotional gap, you fix that emotional disconnect. And one way you do that is for you to improve on how you show up as a leader. When you come to the workplace in the morning, or when you come to work in the morning, make sure that you greet the team members or your employees warmly, and avoid intimidating body language. Avoid talking down on them. When you come to work, like I said, greet them warmly. Avoid talking down on them. Avoid intimidating body language. Avoid harsh tones. This will go a long way to douse the fear, to reduce the fear, and then the people will have the opportunity, the psychological safety to be able to connect with you, and then things are moving better. It is very important that you also encourage healthy and respectful disagreement to reduce fear of leaders. And one way you do this is for you to make them to know that you are open to views, perspective that doesn't agree with your own. If their views are different, you will want to hear them, and let them know that you will want to hear them. This will reduce that fear. And then also learn to model humility. Now, modeling humility in this context is all about admitting mistakes. Don't present yourself as that super perfect boss that doesn't make mistake. If you model such a disposition, your team members, your employees are going to mirror it back to you by also hiding their own mistakes. And when team members, when employees hide their mistakes, it's going to negatively boomerang on the organization. It's going to result to a massive loss. This is very, very important. How to restore, or 4 ways to restore psychological safety back to your team. Number 1, reduce fear of leaders. Number 2, turn mistakes into learning opportunities. Turn mistakes into learning opportunities. Now, it is very important that as a leader, you do not always, punish your team members for making mistakes. Learn to operate from the perspective or from the mindset of seeing mistakes as feedback channels. Stop seeing them as failures. Stop, move from the page of seeing mistakes as failures to the page of seeing them as feedback channels to learn, how things should not be, done in that direction. This is very, very important. It is very important that, as a team leader, you are able to give your team members that psychological safety to be able to go the extra mile without that fear of being sanctioned for making mistakes. And this goes, the approach, the way you respond to mistakes goes a long way to make this happen. This is very important. Turn mistakes into learning opportunities. There are some mistakes that are, I would call sincere mistakes. Team members make these sincere mistakes from that sincere interest, that sincere desire to solve the team problems, to work on the tasks at hand. And in the process of trying to, take initiative to sort out all these team problems, to solve them, sincere mistakes are made. And then when these sincere mistakes are punished, in the future, you are going to see team members that will only just do what they are asked of. They wouldn't want to go further, so that they wouldn't make any mistake that will result to sanction. So your approach is very, very important. Learn to turn mistakes into learning opportunities. We are looking at 4 ways to restore psychological safety back to your team. The third one is for you to deliberately reignite creativity and initiative. Deliberately reignite creativity and initiative. There are some work environments whereby when team members try to come up with creativity and amazing initiative that will help the system to be better stabilized and move to the next level of growth, you will hear statements like, "This is the way we have always done it here." Now, such statement, "This is the way we have always done it here," is going to make team members or employees to be creatively withdrawn. They will shut down creatively. And if you don't do something about it, you are going to, see yourself just remaining in one particular sport or cycle, just remaining in that position, and you will not get the best out of your people. So what do you need to do to make sure that you deliberately reignite creativity and initiative? Explicitly ask for views from your team members, especially during team meetings. And now, in asking for views, make sure you thank them for it. Even if you are not going to use those views or those ideas they are bringing to the table. Also learn to create time for brainstorming. This is very important because in brainstorming session, they already know that they are there to bring ideas to the table. You want to solicit, idea contribution from them. You want to solicit views from them. And so when they come to that brainstorming session, it gives them the platform. It gives you the platform for you to be able to reignite creativity and initiative. And this kind of approach will also help you a long way to see that psychological safety is restored back to your team. The last one is for you to learn to rebuild trust to reduce turnover and quiet quitting. Rebuild trust to reduce turnover and quiet quitting. Now, good pay doesn't always guarantee that employees will stay in an environment where that is not psychologically safe. There are so many employees that have tendered their resignation letter, just to make sure that they protect themselves psychologically. Such environment, the pay is good, but they are losing their self-confidence. They are losing their self-esteem, and nobody wants to stay in such an environment for a long time. So you see people just tendering their resignation letter, they go and they just, want to see that their emotion is protected, their self-esteem is protected. Then you also see another set of people in that same environment that is not psychologically safe, whereby because of the pay, because of economic reasons, they stay in that place. And then immediately competitors just dangle a little addition to the salary they are presently earning, they just leave. And you can reduce that, you can avoid that, because such an environment where, that kind of thing is taking place will not get the best out of the people. And one way to reduce that is for you to publicly acknowledge the contribution your people are bringing to the table. It will go a long way to give them the psychological safety, to make them to stay and want to continue, working with you to give their very best. Then also learn to demonstrate your value for them, by just doing regular check-ins. Demonstrate your value for them by doing regular check-ins. Now, these check-ins should not only just be to check to find out how far they are doing on the task. It should also include finding out about their well-being. This will go a long way to make them feel that you value them. And when team members have that feeling that you value them, that is already psychological safety for them to want to stick with you and continue working with you and bring their A game to the table, bring their very best to the table. And also avoid favoritism. Avoid situation whereby some certain set of team members or employees carry the highest workload in the system, while some other certain set of employees or team members are doing far less work. This will discourage the other team members that may want to just make them to tender their resignation letter. So learn to rebuild trust to reduce turnover and quiet quitting. We have just looked at 4 ways to restore psychological safety back to your team. The first one, I said, reduce fear of leaders. The second one, turn mistakes into learning opportunities. The third one, deliberately reignite creativity and initiative. And the fourth one, rebuild trust to reduce turnover and quiet quitting. I believe that lots of value have been added to you today. Now, that's my email right on the screen. Send your questions, send your inquiries, and like I always do, provide the needed response to you. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday. And when I return, I will say be the amiable. Inuagata no Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
don't know if they are going to win the second round.
With us, I am Marcelina Unko. In this beautiful morning, we would be reviewing the news. And I guess this morning that would be helping us reviewing the newspapers is Dr. Victor Ohai. He is a UN humanitarian ambassador. Hello, Doctor. Good morning.
Thank you.
Rest of the season.
Same to you. Merry Christmas.
Same here. Same here.
Audience.
All right. Our first paper would be this morning is the Nature News newspaper. The Nature News newspaper, the big headlines: Governor sparks hopes at WTO launch climate sciences. You get that on page from the Nature News newspaper. Another headline there says Canada backed monitoring training and on page 6 from the Nature newspaper. Another one says Border denies allegation of members' involvement with terrorism. You get from the Nature newspaper. And 86 processors support to straightening farm input supply. Get that on 3 from the Nature News newspaper. Another one says launches great carbon value to generate to free atmosphere. You get that is on the Nature newspaper. Dr. Victor Ohai, I want us to quickly talk about the big headline there that says Governor Otis sparks hope as WTO DG launches Abia's climate smart e-buses. What would you have to say about that?
Okay, so general concern right now globally is about issues of carbon emission and about, green cities and green economies and all that. And the fact that no less than Dr. Conchola, that's the DG of the WTO, I guess. I believe, yes. Is launching this, if you like, smart buses is something to be commended. It's going to mean a greener and cleaner city. It just means that the city is more friendly, and when cities are eco-friendly like that, there's a lot of investors particularly tend to, it's one of those things that investors take seriously. So I think it's a good initiative, and it will save up on fuel, it will save up on maintenance and so like that. You're just going to have a cleaner city, and I think it's good for us. So it's a good initiative. Coming from Abia as the governor there.
Oh, it's a good initiative that's coming from Abia State. Very good. All right, moving on. We're still on the paper's review this beautiful morning. We'll be looking at the Vanguard newspaper. The big headline on the Vanguard news says, Gazette February NBA Article 6 suspension of tax. You get that on page 5 from the Vanguard newspaper. Another headline says Nigerians' net forest inflow rises to $41.73 billion. You get that on page 19 from the Vanguard newspaper. Destruction of PDP dangerous for Nigerians' democracy. Makinde. You get that on page 10 on the Vanguard newspaper. NIN CSC numbers to become tax IDs from 2026. You get that FIRS. You get that on page 9 from Vanguard newspaper. newspaper. Another headline there says, hardship, federal government gets 52% of federation revenue. Stop blaming governance alone, rather. You get that on page 8 on the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, another headline says, political with hampering fight against insecurity, Kwankwaso. You get that on page 37 on the Vanguard newspaper. Kwam1 withdraws suits challenging Awujale successful process. You get that on page 10 on the Vanguard newspaper. Luxman strike earns Super Eagles slime win over Tanzanian. You get that on page 40 on the Vanguard newspaper. Let's talk about federal government gets 52% of federation revenue. Stop blaming governance alone, according to RADA. What would you have to say about that?
No, I don't think that's an issue. Federal government is looking after 36 states and the federal capital. What is at stake here is let what is due to the local governments go to the local governments. The governors should take their, I mean, there are locations. You cannot take your own and take the one for another tier of government. That is a constitutionally, that is a constitutional arm of government, you know. So the local government area.
Many thanks for staying with us. We're still on the paper's review. Okay, Dr. Lee, talking about the Vanguard newspaper, we said federal government gets 52% of federation revenue. Stop blaming governance alone, according to RADA. You're saying something?
I think that's just a distraction, an unnecessary distraction. The issue at hand is that the state governors are stealing or misappropriating money that does not belong to them. You know, when you take what does not belong to you, it's nothing short of stealing. It belongs to local government areas. And the reason, see, local government area is a closer community, okay? The state government cannot claim to know. I mean, the other day I was going through one back street like that, one area, I looked at, thought to myself, I said, God, is the state government even aware that this road is as bad as this? They can be. They are not omnipresent. But the local government area is there. They count those areas. So they can see the bad road, for instance. I mean, those things that concern them, whether it is healthcare, bad roads or whatever, they're able to deal with them at that level. What belongs to the federal government statutorily belongs to the federal government. What belongs to the state government belongs to the state government statutorily. So should the one that belongs to the local as well. And so you cannot now say, oh, federal government, mind your business. After all, you are taking so much. The federal government is in charge of the whole 36 states and the federal capital. So.
Okay, let's quickly, thank you for that. Let's quickly talk about the new tax law. NBA article says seek suspension of the tax law. What would you have to say?
Yes, because you see, you cannot put something upon nothing. You cannot come and begin to implement. What happened, if it is indeed true, is criminal. Because the only arm of government that can make laws is the legislature, not the executive. The executive will still bring it for approval to the legislature if he has any law that he wants to pass. Okay, and so the legislators have the federal government has proposed the tax reforms. Legislators have looked at it, debated it, added and subtracted depending on they are our relatives. They have looked at it from our point to the interests of their people, and they have said this is what the law should be. Okay. And then going out there now, what has now happened is that the thing has allegedly been tampered with. What was not in the originally approved or passed law is what was gazetted, and that's where the problem is. All right.
Let's quickly take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The big headline on the paper says, investor fatigue. $14 billion infrastructure gap stalled deep sea port revenue plan. You get that on page 6 on the Guardian newspaper. Makinde opposition cites wicked factors, says authoritarian threats in 2027 polls. You get that on page 6 on the Guardian newspaper. Federal government orders road constructors to remain on site during Yuletide. You get that on page 5 on the Guardian newspaper. Another headline there says, lawmakers okay old budget extension, revised 2026 fiscal plan to 58.47 trillion naira. You get that on page 3 on the Guardian newspaper. Federal government misses oil revenue target by 64%, records 3 trillion deficit. You get that on page 16 on the Guardian newspaper. Rivers, 2 senators, state lawmakers join APC. You get that on page 29 on the Guardian newspaper. Another headline there says, insecurity, the making of Southeast ghost towns to ducks. You get page 4 on the Guardian newspaper. Let's talk about the Dr. Victor Orai. Let's talk about the investors' fatigue. The big headline there that says the investor fatigue, $10 billion infrastructure gap still deep sea port renewal plan. What would you have to say about that?
I don't blame the investors. You don't put money where you're not expecting money back. See what's happening. I mean, there are a lot of factors to consider. A lot of goods, almost 60% of goods that are due to come to Nigeria are going to places like Cotonou and Tema Port in Ghana and the rest. And of course, because of the ECOWAS protocol, you can move goods across this territory. So there's no stopping these goods from coming into Nigeria through land and all that. And why are they going to Cotonou and the rest? The government has failed to for me, I would talk about port reforms because your ports are very unfriendly. Your tariffs are very unfriendly. Car importers would rather go to Cotonou than come to our ports because, first of all, corrupt, the bribes you pay, the high tariffs that you pay, the custom duties and all that. It's so unfriendly, And then you bring your goods, they delay for so long, so many run into demurrage. Plus, when these goods come in, there are other factors to consider as well. Intermodal roads for connecting these goods from here to places where this is supposed to end finally. And then thirdly, if you look at, of all the ports, Lagos alone has 4 ports, but none is fully developed to a point. If they had concentrated on only having one very, a port that can carry very large vessels like you have in Cotonou, just focus, it would probably have helped matters. But here you see Lagos with this greed, or the federal government, I don't know how to put it, Badagry Deep Sea Port, Lekki Deep Sea Port, Upper Port, Tinkana, all in one city. You understand what I'm saying? And then you wonder, if this is a spread, people know, okay, if you bring, you also want to look at proximity to where the goods are going to. You understand? So investors are looking at it. When we bring this, invest in this port, and then most of the goods don't come to the port, how do we make our money back?
All right.
And that's where the problem is.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Victor Ohai, for helping us analyze the paper this morning. All right, all our viewers, this is all able to take on the newspaper. Do well to get all the papers, the Nigerian Truth, the Punch, that the New Life and Daily Independent newspaper. Do well to get all those papers and go through them. Thank you for joining on the newspaper this morning. I am Marcelina Unko. We'll be over to Benin Information on CMI. Just stay with us.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said.
So
So,
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something. You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them over, dragging on both sides, you cannot. You cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
happens.
women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
All right, thank you one more time for staying on the program this morning on ITV. Yes, a while ago, I told you that our discussion point in Benin this morning is to take stock into the 2025 budget in Edo State, the appropriation bill. We understand that a new budget has been passed by the Edo State House of Assembly and, of course, also accepted to by the governor of Edo State. Talking about His Excellency Senator Monday Okpebholo. But we're not going to be talking about the 2026 appropriation bill. We're going to be looking at the 2025 appropriation bill as the year is coming to an end. And the information we are following on that is, well, let me just introduce my guest first. Joining us virtually this morning is Mr. Godswill Enegbe, who is the Special Advisor on Media Communications and Media Strategy to Edo State Governor. Mr. Godswill Enegbe, good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, sir. Compliments of the city.
Okay. All right, so we also have Barrister Daniel Osa Ogbege, the Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State, and also a political discussant. Mr. Ogbege, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Evans Enokuji. Thanks for having me this morning.
Okay.
Let me congratulate my friend over there, Godswill Enegbe, on his appointment. You know, we were together the time we worked together in 2020. I think the appointment was well merited. It was one of those who were closest to the now governor when he was contesting for Senate in 2022, and he supported him from the very beginning when he also declared his interest to be governor at the time. I recall that we used to have a bit of a brickbat because then I was supporting Pastor Sageze Yamuan. He was supporting Monday Okpebholo, who also happened to be my friend at the time and my client. We all also, of course, worked together for Pastor Ezeyamo in 2016 and 2020. So I congratulate you, my dear brother, for your appointment.
Okay. All right, so away from that now, the information we are following as it relates to the 2025 appropriation bill in Edo State that is so close to being, ending now. We understand that the Edo State 25 budget saw an initial proposal of 675.22 billion naira in late 2024. And of course, which was passed and signed into law by Governor Okpebholo, but later revised upwards in September 2025 to a supplementary budget of 799.82 billion naira, with a strong focus on infrastructure and the governor's 5-point agenda. That's the SHINE agenda, which it's security, infrastructure, health, food, education, and significantly increasing capital expenditure to fast-track development. Now, the key figures of the budget are that the key figures of the changes in the budget that we noticed in 2025 was that there was an initial budget, so that was in December 2024, that stood at 675.22 billion naira. And of course, it was later revised to be, that was in September 2025, to be 799.82 billion naira. That's an estimate of 18 to 25% increase. Now, the budget, focused on capital expenditure, which stood at 70%, and of course, recurrent expenditure, which stood at 30%. Then key sectors of the budget aligned with Governor Monday Okpebholo's agenda: security, infrastructure, healthcare, food, and all that. Now, as this discussion progresses, we're going to be looking at various sectors on this budget to see whether they have actually performed. Remember, I told you that what we are going to be doing with this topic this morning is to see how the 2025 budget has really performed. Now, Mr. Chris Enegbe, you are the media, the essay on media and communication strategy to the Edo State governor. Now, what would you say about this 2025 budget that is about going out as it stands now?
Thank you once again. So thank you for having me.
And I want to also especially thank my dear brother studio. Just exactly what he narrated regarding where we're coming from, politically speaking. Thanking for the years of friendship, and I want to wish him the good, a peaceful Christmas, and of course, a prosperous New Year. Once again, thank you for having me. The truth is this: anytime I have the opportunity to appear on live television, I always insist that we start and not to propaganda and not to politicize issues. Regarding the 2025 budget performance, which is the topic in discussion this morning, we want to
Mr. Enegbe. Okay, I think it appears we're having some little bit of audio issue there. Well, we wait for Mr. Chris Enegbe to get us back so that he tells us to see how the budget has performed. But Barrister Dan Ogbege, when we talk about budget performance, it's there for everybody to see. I mean, the government talks about proposed budgets, and of course, for other persons, we actually see whether this budget has really performed. In other words, those XYZ issues that were talked about in the budget, whether they were actually, realized. Now, as the 2025 this year is running out, give us a perception about the budget. I mean, whether this budget has really performed or not.
Well, beyond politics, because I always tell people that my loyalty is first to Edo people, Edo State. We are a family state, so no matter who is governor per time, the rest of us owe it a duty to support. Now, we support in different ways. We can support by singing their praises, but we can also support by criticizing them so that they can sit up and do better. So when some of us criticize this government, it's not because we hate those in government, because most of them are our friends. We relate. But it is because we want them to do better, to sit up. Now, you look at Edo State in the last 1 year. Does Edo State look like a state that has had a budget of 675 billion naira in the last 1 year? That is a question. Now, the budget is divided into capital expenditure and recurrent expenditure. The capital expenditure took 68% of the budget. So that means there will be infrastructure. The capital expenditure was around 400 and something billion. So that means there will be infrastructure development, there will be schools, there will be roads, and all of that. Now, does Edo State, the whole of Edo State, does it look like a state where we've had 400 and something billion infused into developing its infrastructure? I don't think so. So it means that the budget itself, the 2025 budget, has failed because there is no corresponding benefit to the people. A budget is not poetry. A budget is, for instance, in this case, Edo State, the budget, the 2025 budget has become a statement of intent without evidence of delivery. So it's just a mere statement of intent. This is what we are going to do. After 1 year, what has been delivered? Does Benin City, for instance, the flagship of the state, the star of the state, the pallor of the state, does it look like a city where 400 and something billion has been spent on infrastructure? Even the APC members will answer in the negative.
Okay, let me pause you to see if we can reconnect back to Mr. Chris Enegbe, Godswill Enegbe. Now, Godswill Enegbe, do we have you back now?
Yeah, can you hear me, please?
Godswill Enegbe.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, all right. Now, I don't want to say your opponent, but our guest here, your very good friend, Barrister Daniel Ogbege, who is the publicity secretary of the PDP, has said that the 2025 budget is a mere statement, that it has not performed. He talked about Benin being the main point of where the budget is supposed to perform. Now, how would you want to react to that?
Thank you so much. You know, as I said before yesterday, when you were talking about this program this morning, I told you there might be some issues because my phones, a lot of calls will be coming in, and that will disrupt the process. And that's exactly what is going on. But quickly, I want to say one or two things before the issues of network again happens. The fact remains that, as I said, my brother in the studio, I thank him, I appreciate him. I know what he's trying to do is his job as a spokesperson for the opposition party. But the fact remains that what we are going to talk about is empirical evidence. Today, there are a lot of groups that have committed the led restriction for the budget performance in the outgoing fiscal year. One of the groups that I will just quickly mention here is the Benin Unity League. The Benin Unity League lauded the Edo State Governor, Senator Modu Gbewolo, following the state's emergence as one of Nigeria's strongest performing states in budget implementation for the 2025 fiscal year. The group described the development as a clear signal of fiscal discipline, credible planning, and effective governance. This Benin Unity League commendation was actually based on the data compiled by Agora Policy. Agora Policy data was based on state budget implementation reports, which shows that Edo State achieved an 81.2% budget execution rate between the first and third quarters of 2025, placing Edo among the top performance nationwide. And quickly, I also want to make sure that Edo State was narrowly behind Lagos State, which recorded 81.5%, and ahead of several states with significant larger revenue basis. See, my brother, as I've always tell you, me, I don't play politics. I speak to facts, I speak to evidence. I heard part of what my brother was saying, whether the budget of the outgoing fiscal year, if there were evidence in terms of infrastructure in the state to show that such money is. But I want to say with every sense of responsibility that is only those
It appears we are having really serious audio issues there with Godswill Enegbe because he's joining us virtually. Anyway, back to set now. Mr. Godswill, do we have you back now?
Okay, yes, can you hear me, please?
Hello, Mr. Godswill.
Yeah, hello, sir, can you hear me now?
All right. Now, Barrister Dan Ogbege, now, I don't want to say that your reactions seems to be generalistic because for you are of the opinion that the budget has not performed. Yes. Well, there's no way, some people will say that there's no way you can, just say that. I mean, with a swipe of the hand to say that the whole budget has not performed because various sectoral allocations of the budget are there. Now, for example, we have a sector that has to do with road and infrastructure. The amount that was budgeted for that is 1.62 billion naira. And then also education, 48 billion naira. Then for healthcare, 63.9 billion naira. Then for agriculture, 4.5 billion naira to strengthen farm and mechanization and food production, and also other various of the budget that we now. Which of these sectors are you trying to say? Are you just looking at the whole budget to say that it has not performed?
Yeah, I've looked at everything, but I think I can also go sector by sector, and I will ask the government some questions if they don't mind. Okay, Edo State received substantial allocation from the federation account in the last 1 year, and in fact, it has been the largest ever. The budget 675 billion has been by far the largest, like times 3 of any other budget, before it. It is because subsidy was removed and more money was now going to the states. Now, where revenue increases and the quality of life of the people decreases, you will know that government has failed. There's no gainsaying. Now, he was saying that he wanted to give an example. He wanted to project that the budget performed because the Benin Unity League came out to praise the governor. We know how these things go. We know how charlatans will come out to say, oh, this governor is doing so well. There's no governor in this country, no matter how poor they perform, that they won't see people praising them. But instead of telling us that, oh, some people, an NGO, praise the government, why not show us to the project? Now, can this government list 5 projects that have been completed in the last 1 year? They cannot. They cannot list 5 projects. Even 2 projects that were commended by this government and completed in the last 1 year. They cannot. Now they talk about, when they talk about the bridge at Rama Park. I don't know what they call it again, flyover, and they boast about that. But they also know the source of that funding. It is not government, but they won't be able to talk about it. They've held it in secrecy. They don't want to talk about it. But the source of that funding is not government. It's not a government. So it was not captured
so what is the source
in the budget.
What is the source of that project?
I won't speculate on it. Let them tell us.
No, for you to.
Because if it's not, I'm saying that it is not government.
No, for you.
So let them tell me that it is government.
No, for you to say.
Because it was not captured. One, it was not captured in the budget, and 2, it is when we have a governor that is whimsical, when we have a governor that resort to knee-jerk decisions, you have this kind of thing. Because Negbe was saying that there's fiscal discipline in the government, in the budget. No, there's no discipline. They don't even follow the budget. I will ask them, the 2.5 billion naira the government donated to UBTH, was that captured in the budget? No. It came from nowhere. He went to visit the newly appointed CMD of UBTH, and he just said, oh, I donate 2.5 billion naira to UBTH, a federal institution, where we have so many state institutions languishing because of lack of finance. So because this government has had far more money than previous government, they don't even know what to do with it.
Okay, let me.
And they come and they just dole it out.
Okay, let me pause.
So the budget has not performed because it shows on the faces of the people. Are the lives of the people better in the last 1 year than it was in previous years? No.
Okay.
Are the roads in the state better in the last 1 year than they were in previous years? No.
All right,
Are schools better in the last 1 year? No.
Let me pause you.
That is the point.
Let me pause you.
Just have to measure the performance of a budget.
But again, let's try to take this discussion.
Sorry, sir. Thank you.
The way that we get all that.
Yeah, we are following.
Yes. Now, Godswill Enegbe, if we have you back now, Obege has said something. He talked about the 2.something billion naira that was given to the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. I'm sure you heard that. Then he also talked. He challenged that you should mention at least 2 projects that have been completed, and the flyover that has been done in Benin, he said that they were not encapsulated in the 2025 budget. Now, how would you react to those claims? Godswill Enegbe. All right, I think we, at this point, will take a short pause. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
ITV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise, or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for ashwebi and something. You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them over, dragging on both sides, you cannot. You cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
happens.
women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
The Ekoko masquerades from Ute village, whose cult is connected with Obaeware and his mother, Elere, appear on this occasion to bless the Oba. Ekoko is a ritual masquerade that dances to please the guests and the Oba.
All right, thank you one more time. The program's still on your television, Independent TV. We sincerely apologize for that break there. We'll have to reconnect so that we get a clearer audio. Now, we still have Gosile Enegbe, who is the SA on Media Strategy and Communications to the Edo State Government, and also Barrister Daniel Ogbege. Now, Gosile Enegbe, you were about reacting to some of the things that Barrister Dan Ogbege said. For him, he said the budget has not performed. You know that the project that's ongoing now, the flyover bridge, that they were not part of the budget. So how would we react to that?
Well, thank you so much. I want to apologize. As I said before yesterday, I traveled with the governor. They're making an arrangement for this travel this morning. Express this concern that my phones, because of the numbers of calls that will be coming in, it will disrupt the interview process. Exactly that will happen. I think there are some, I heard some part of what Pastor Dan says, and I just want to react. I will appreciate it when we're back to Benin, and I can come to the studio, and one Barrister Dan will also be in the studio, so that we can speak to ourselves. But as someone who is in the government, who is in the position of knowledge, I will speak to the fact. I'm not propaganda, I'm not politics. Dan is there to talk on behalf of the few people that are made the opposition party in those seats. And I know because of the nature of the politics in this part of the world, the opposition will never see anything good, no matter what you do. If even though you construct a building, and put them inside the building. They will also criticize just for criticism purpose. But here this morning, I will just say one or two few things before the day. But I said I will appreciate it when I will be in the studio. Then I will also come to the studio. If Dan is saying that he's not seeing any infrastructural developments in those states, I think I will leave that for the vast majority of Edo people to judge. And my dear brother have to really do something about that. Because in the history of our beloved states, the vast majority of Edo people have acknowledged the fact that the nature or rather the level of infrastructural work ongoing in just 1 year in office of this administration have never been seen in the history of our states. We see across the 3 central districts, you see construction ongoing. In the donuts today, the roads are connected to Ibilo and other neighboring communities. I have breakdowns how many roads are really completed. And I was just smiling. It's not everything you play politics with, my brother. We were together at the time, but I know you are a master for the opposition. But please, when you see good, commend it. That will not change your personality. In the donuts, not I can speak to the fact that up to 3 to 4 major roads have been completed. In Edo Central, the road that leads to the community of Lakes Tony, the man who moved the motion for Nigeria independence, the road and the community is called Onewa. Onewa connects about 8 communities. Roads have been completed. If you go to Edo South, the phase 2 of Temboka has been completed. Ekawa Barak roads that were abandoned, have been completed this. If you go to Hotel community, if you link to the roads that link to Upper Erigawa, you see the roads are completed. Even when you go towards the Ramadan Axis, the roads that are completed that are there. I don't want to even talk about the ones that are ongoing. That everyone is seeing. Is it about, you see the way he compared towards, or rather reacted towards the flyover bridge, the first in those states, in the history of the state, that the governor is constructing, that even the clients are making, the day they are celebrating, because it has never happened in the history of our states. It's the first time. These are legacy projects that we have lived the administration of Senator Omodo. It's not about sentiment. It's not about being partisan. It's not about being play politics. It's about the people of those states. And the people celebrate these legacy projects, long-run projects that are ongoing across the central district. And so everything in your video is telling them that they are not seeing anything. That they don't see the performance of the project. No, brother. You don't play politics with everything.
Yeah, Mr. Negbe, let us.
Let's speak to the facts.
Yeah,
Mr. See what's happening in those days today.
Yeah.
They see the revolution in terms of infrastructure that is going on. Look at the agricultural sector. Look at the education sector. Everything that the past administration failed to do, this governor has ensured that the young people, they have what belongs to them. Educational sector was the sector of power was when the came about.
All right, Mr. Chris. Yeah, Mr. Godfrey.
You see the tertiary education system?
Yeah, Mr. Godfrey.
Look at ANU today. ANU is back. This past administration was speak that state university.
All right, Mr. Godfrey. Mr. Godfrey. It's okay, so that we have a fair share. Yeah, Mr. Godfrey. Yeah, Mr. Godfrey, let's try to have a fair share. I don't want to put you off now. Yeah, I don't want to put you off, but let's try to have a fair share of this discussion so that it won't be lopsided. I don't want it to look as if I give more time to one person as against the other. But you have also been talking. So let's pause now.
When someone will see people who knows better because of politics.
All right, thank you. Now, Mr. Dan Ugbege. Yeah, Barrister Dan Ugbege, the issue here we are looking at, Enegbe, I don't want to put you up because I understand what it took you. Yeah, it's okay now. I don't want to put you up, but I just want you to follow this conversation because I want you to be part of this conversation. So please hold on while Ugbege will come in. Now, Ugbege, the issue we are facing here now is not trying to be political, not trying to play politics with what is obvious, because that seems to be what Godswill Enegbe is saying. That you talked about the project that been done, that they were not part of the initial budget and all that. But
I just mentioned that as an aside. You know, I just mentioned that as an aside. That, for instance, the 2.5 billion naira DODA to UBTH, you know, was not budgeted for. Then even the flyover project around Rama Park was not also in the budget. He just went there and said, "Oh, if he didn't even follow the normal procedure for awarding contract."
But there
was no advertisement, there was no tender.
I mentioned the 162 billion
but having said that
was part of the infrastructure budget.
Yes, I'm saying that. Look at Edo State, the whole of Edo State, and see whether, in terms of capital expenditure, whether Edo State looks like a state where 470 billion was spent for capital expenditure.
Let's get it straight so that you don't contradict what you're saying.
Okay, yes.
You are saying on one hand that the ongoing flyover bridges, that they are not part of the 2025 budget.
I'm still repeating it.
I said what we have here, we have 162 billion under roads and infrastructure. So
I'm saying that Rama Park flyover was not budgeted for.
Is that not the
I specifically said Rama Park. I didn't say infrastructure. I said Rama Park project. That particular flyover was not budgeted for.
Okay, the Rama Park project,
it is not from Edo State fund. It's not funded by Edo State government. I stand to be corrected. It's not funded by Edo State government. Godswill Enegbe should be advised to calm down. He should calm down. Because maybe if I was wearing his rose tinted, Godswill, when we were talking, I didn't interrupt you.
Hold on.
You had the floor for almost 20 minutes. I didn't interrupt you. So let me make my point. Now, Godswill Enegbe should be told to calm down. He had the floor. I didn't interrupt him. So maybe you should let him tell him that I have the floor now.
Godswill, I don't want to put you up. Just hold on. You
have the floor.
Yeah, but go on.
Now the point is very clear that we can see, we have eyes. This is not politics. It's not about politics. He's angry that we are criticizing his government. But when he was in the opposition, he was criticizing Obaseki. All true, they said Obaseki did not do anything. Obaseki did not do anything at all. And they were happy at the time. Now the table has turned. And he's very pissed off. He's very angry. But we are saying the truth. I have said he should measure 5 projects that was started by this government and completed by this government. He has not been able to say
but he just mentioned some projects. What? He mentioned some projects a while ago. Anyway, we're going to respond.
No, which project he didn't mention? I have not been to Udomi. I mean, for some time, I only went to Udomi when Frank Erewele was buried, and we were at Irwa. From Irwa, some of us went to Udomi. So maybe they did some road projects there. In Udomi, it's a village community. And I also heard that he took a nursing school to Udomi, that is his village, that is the governor's village. I also heard that he's taking a 30 billion naira project for rendezvous to that place.
Is Udomi part of Edo State?
I'm not. I say I've not been there. So I don't know the much he has done there. So maybe, but I'm in Benin City. I go to Ekpoma, I go to Auchi, I go to Afuze, I go to Igara, and these are the major towns and cities in Edo State. Okay. There is no completed project by this government in the last 1 year.
Let me pause you.
You are pausing me. I've never had time. We had almost 20 minutes. That's the point I made. You know, I called you when I was coming. Because there's a tendency for people to allow and favor people in government. I represent the people.
You're speaking now.
He's interjecting me, and you're interjecting me. You want to stop me. So the point I'm making, and I'll still keep making it, that there's no visible project that this government can boast of in the early 5. This is the point. They're not able to do that. Then there's no measurable improvement in public service efficiency. Beautiful. Last 2 weeks, I was at the State Secretariat.
Now, you see, let us share this.
I said, I'm only speaking for 1 minute. Let me anchor, please.
Let's take time. So
let me anchor. Let me anchor. Even when I was talking, it was interjecting me.
Yeah, quickly.
If you want to be mouthpiece of government, then invite them. Don't invite me.
Nobody is mouthpiece.
That's the point I'm saying. I said last 2 weeks, I was at the State Secretariat where there was no light for the past 2 weeks. There was no electricity for the past 2 weeks. So when they brought light around to 4, at that time many people are even gone. If you see the jubilation, if you see the rejoicing, because those have been thrown into darkness since this government came in the last 1 year. What are we talking about? Are you in this state? Don't we all suffer it?
Okay, so can we have...
Whereas under Gojo Obaseki, it was taken for granted. Electricity was taken for granted.
You and I,
under Gojo Obaseki.
We don't have personal issues.
We should quiz government.
You hold on now. Let government also respond. Now, Enegbe, we're going to have you respond now quickly.
Even they should mention 5 projects that they started and completed.
The next 1-2 minutes, may you respond now?
Yes, mention 5 projects.
Do for you, please.
Mention 5 projects. We are waiting for you.
I will send you a vehicle. Let me send you a car. I will take you from ITV's studio so they can take you to.
No, say it here. 5 projects.
So I can take you around Ekewan Road. So I can take you.
This is Ekewan Road. That was Gojo Obaseki.
The roads that Obasanjo has constructed, just let.
So Gojo was Gojo Obaseki, and they played
just let him anchor it. See, as I've said before, my brother Mr. Evans, you are the anchor of this program. We are not here to engage with a man who is playing partisan politics in order to show that there is a position in Edo State. We are not here.
You tell us now, please.
Go to Edo North, go to Akoko Edo, go to Ibilo. The roads that Ogbero has completed. The Udomi is mentioned. I never even mentioned the Udomi. I mentioned Olewa. Olewa is the road that leads to the country home, north. I said it before.
How many kilometers of roads? How many kilometers is that road?
Interjecting.
No, I'm asking him. He should tell us.
Let him make his point. Then you
he started it. When he was talking, I kept quiet. I didn't talk.
I think
he started it.
All right, gentlemen.
And you couldn't stop him.
Yeah, gentlemen.
That's the point.
We may have to.
You couldn't stop him when he was interjecting me.
My time is also.
Actually allowed him to speak.
Ogbege, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the program today. And this is where we anchor this discussion this morning. And you can see that ITV, we don't have a role, we don't have a part in all these accusations and counter accusations. All we do is to call the stakeholders so that they can debate the issue. So we're going to try to have a second part of this budget assessment. I mean, we still have some few days left for the year 2025, and so that we can see whether the budget actually performed or not. Bryce Ogbege, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. And also to Enegbe there, thank you so much for calling into the program. My name is Evans Unokoge. Please stay tuned.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Okay, many thanks indeed for us. The program is still this on Independent. Fire from the Benin end, and you just ask, hey, it's to Governor Senator Monday Paulo, the executive governor of Edo State, and those are from the PDP. Actually digging deep. The duty of our democracy, defending the executive governor, and those from the PDP, they also work with ex-governor Godwin Sekki, also like that, but it's just a switch of role. The other ones before we are in the opposition, these other ones before we are in the avenue, now the of the avenue. So it's just many persons are hoping for is to see the best people of Edo State. That is what longing for amidst those fireworks. The bridge is getting many persons. And everyone talking the Lamak Park flyover is what they are flyover, no flyover, and whatever. The was able to manage it and big political government from both. That time for us to look at the state road, traffic management, and all of that. I think if we are ready now, let's join our assistant Shah, that's ACM. Gora, let's bring him home if he's ready. Start to share our thoughts. And now the roads are this morning as a guy. We and they just running, asking why are they where are they really going to? And that is what we saw all over Abuja this morning. Much more, some places you see a golf, they will tie load on top, and the question what really are going on. I think for us to get set to discuss, Assistant Corps Marshal, retired, AC Ayuba Wobin. A very wonderful and love. Hello?
Hello, sir. I'm hearing you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much to Independent Television, ITV, Abuja. How are you enjoying the Utide?
Well, thank God.
Okay, let's bring you back to your familiar terrain. You are one of the persons that ensure that Abuja, throughout your tenure, we never had too much of crashes we saw at Kugbo. But now, let's now come to yesterday, the commercial. We are on the Lokoja Road now. Let's now get your thoughts. Traffic gridlock. What ran through your mind as one of the chief traffic managers in the country?
Honestly, I felt very bad because traffic of that magnitude is not supposed to happen. But unfortunately, because of the trend of some of our drivers, and of course, the bad roads that we have in the country today that cause that traffic jam lock. I have been in touch with the commands, the unit commanders along that route, and even the Central Commander Koji, who did a lot within his jurisdiction to curtail the traffic gridlock. But one thing that I noticed is that if government is going to work on any road at all,
yes, sir,
and a major road at that,
yes, sir,
government is supposed to start that work in good time.
Good.
You don't start working on the road when people have started traveling or when people are about to start traveling for celebrations.
Okay.
That was also a major issue. But above all, people don't have patience at all. If there was patience, in those days we don't used to have an express route from Abuja to Lokoja. It used to be a highway, and some of these things were not experienced like this. I worked in Lokoja before, and I know what we did to tackle this type of problem, especially at Nataku. That is where we used to have problems. But we were able to do the best we can to ensure that nobody sleeps on the road.
Now, hello, if I may ask you, Mr. Gora.
Yes, sir.
Beside the FRSC, where you worked and retired at the high level, are you not worried, like what some persons raise, that military blockade without consulting traffic experts like yourself have led to their altercation with trailer driver, who many claim refuse to give them bribe, and always lead to the blocking of the road within the Lokoja alignment? Are you not worried?
Well, if that is the allegation that perhaps is also a contributory factor to this hold-up that we experience, it is sad and it's bad. We don't know the military for that. I've never known the military for that. I know. You and me know when we were working together, Mr. Atta, that along the Nyanya express route,
correct,
anytime there is this checks at Kubo,
yes, sir,
I used to go there personally, meet with the commander there.
Good.
And before I go to the commander, I had called their overall organ that, look, this is the experience of people. Please, I want, even if it is 2 lanes released, not only 1 lane.
Good.
Because people are coming on 3 lanes, you narrow them on 1 lane, certainly there will be a lot of hold up.
Correct.
And you will discover that the road will be open. And I will tell them, look, gentlemen, what I expect you to do is do random picking.
Correct.
Any vehicle that you are experiencing, park him and check. Park that vehicle and allow others to move.
Correct.
And that was the successes we achieved during that period when I was sector commander in the FCT.
Correct.
And we never had any issues.
Now let's.
And again, sir.
Yeah.
You also remember when the Gogolada road was being fixed.
Correct.
And Dantata and Sawo were the construction company, or was the construction company that handled that project.
Yeah.
And during Christmas like this, I used to go to their manager, please, you have to open this road, no matter the dust, and ensure you put water on it to reduce problem for people around.
Very lovely.
And honestly, we experienced that cooperation. They will open the road, and that also assisted us, apart from our men.
Now, hello, Mr.
People to cut corners.
Hello, Mr. Gora.
Yes, sir.
You bear your part very strongly. Now let's go to the other. The truth about it is, someone said it, at this time nobody envies the road safety, FRSC, because you appear to be caught in the middle. You have impatient motorists, you have government who have refused to fix pothole, you have several contributory factors, some non-traffic actors who are involved in making your work very complex. Now, looking at the state of the roads,
yes,
what will you be advising government now? Because Easter is coming. Your team, even if you are retired assistant commercial, your mind is always there, and your boys are always there. What will you be advising government now?
No, Mr. Atta, let me tell you one thing. Even though I retired,
correct,
but I can tell you I'm still very much in active service in terms of traffic control.
Okay.
Those who ply the Lugbe Airport road axis, I will now say, some of them will now hear me talking. When I see them taking one way, I block them and I return them back. And when I see traffic hold up in any location, I find a safe place, park my car, come out with my reflective jacket and control traffic. I do that, even up to today. So I have not left the job. I am only retired, but I will still continue to be
retired but not tired.
So on the issue of these roads, honestly, like I said, government should assist to make things easier for Nigerians. These roads should be fixed in good time. You don't have to wait until a very big portion of the road has failed before you start making preparations. And even when you start fixing, patching potholes, there are some that may look very small. You need to excavate them, patch them. Correct. Because they are the same potholes that will expand and increase tomorrow. So I think government should be able to do what we expect them to do, assisting Nigerians to, especially the critical corridors. Yeah. Especially the critical corridors, where they know a lot of Nigerians during festivities fly. I think that will go a long way to help us.
Okay, now, quickly, as our time flies, before we wrap up, what about VIP, the problem the road said, and to actually ease and loosen up the Lokoja gridlock, and several others, even the one in the Benin bypass, that when they are almost done with 2-3 years, will not listen to road safety. They come with a line of about 15 or 10 vehicles, scatter all what have been arranged, and you start all over again. What will you be telling the big politicians, government officials, and those who are on VIP?
Was one person that was obeying traffic rules and regulations. No convoy will be there and he will allow that person. If before he was even inaugurated, it was
Mr. Gora, we need to end this one now. We need to end this interview, but quickly, just in 1 minute, what's your take of us who believe that you don't drive normal, you drive Christmas driving? Take a little of share. I will rent every village that you drive the Christmas driving.
No. I don't want to believe that is Christmas driving.
No, that's what they call it, those drivers. And those young boys doing Christmas.
Yes, that is reckless driving. Let me take my time to talk to the young boys. Even there are some older people that drive like that, like you have said. But let me say that, honestly speaking, we need to obey traffic rules and regulations, drive safely. But let me again say that there is no single person that will set up and they will tell him welcome until he gets to his destination. That is when people will tell him welcome.
Correct.
And it is only the living that celebrate.
Correct.
So let's drive to stay alive.
Thank you very much. Retired Assistant Corps Marshal RSC, Gora Wobin, very popular in the FCT, one who stood and actually took the hit when things get tough and roads get blocked. Thank you very much. We hope you'll be enjoying your holiday with the family.
It's nice having you online.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, thank you very much. I think we set down, take a break. When we come back from the break, we will be going via Zoom here to talk about studying abroad after this break. thanks indeed for us, for as many of you as are students of knowledge. I mean, those who believe in the attainability of knowledge and those who want to study and enrich the content of the brain and what resides in the cerebral hemisphere. One thing you learn from the poem Ulysses of Ithaca, in the last stanza, it says, knowledge like a sinking star, to seek to find and never to yield. And that is why René Descartes, our civilization, says we must start from, and where he used that popular phrase, cogito ergo sum. Let's go studying abroad, opening new doors to global opportunities and all of that. Let's get in the studio here, fully on dark green. Dark green. Mr. Victor Gade, the client relationship manager at Scovers Education. Let's start now. The concept of studying and opening global opportunities. I want to entail and all of that.
So, studying is one of the experiences that I would always counsel that anyone who can afford should have. But the reason is because it gives you a multicultural society that we don't know about the world. Whole lot the world does not know about us.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so study abroad gives you that to be in a society where you can relate to people from themselves at the same time and learn cultures, while environment where it's very standard education. That's the sort of details.
Okay, what do your group do when it comes to the study abroad?
So Scovers Education, our primary is to make study affordable. Yes. So usually we have an idea that study abroad is quite expensive. Anybody who wants to study abroad already is calculating thousands of dollars. So what we do abroad as affordable as possible. So our category, we have very good grades. We have those who have a lot of and it's a poor. Is in different categories to get the most of because even those who have the most again saving money.
Now, when it comes to this issue of abroad, you want people in a very heterogeneous world where the world appears diversified. How do you get them to when it comes to the issue of language? Which I feel is one of the main issue. You get some people going to study in Italy and they hardly speak the language. Some going to France, they couldn't speak Francais.
Yeah, so the problem with most of these locations is that when you go to these places where, especially the countries in Europe where they have tuition waivers, where you don't pay any money, those ones you are required languages for a period of time. But most of the countries we work with, it's English. So
okay, what country? Let's quickly start together.
Okay, so primarily the US and Canada, although currently we have all of the visa restrictions, but we have hopes that in a short while that will be lifted. Yes, the UK also. So most of the countries we work with are English speaking. We work across Europe also, but the we work with they also have English as a requirement.
Good.
Yes. So countries you of learning either in English or in maybe Italian or other language.
Now, what incentives do you give people who come under you to actually get this broader knowledge overseas?
Okay, so for example, we are speaking about today will be, and we're going to have Mr. Colton. So to study with UPI, you would $4,000 for 2 years.
Good.
Yeah, but Scovers Education did a part with United International, and on that, anybody who comes through Scovers is going to get over 75% waiver. So they are going to $1,000 as compared to the their counterparts are paying. So that's usually the kinds of deal with institutions that we have. We try to strike back to make it more affordable.
Okay, if you're joining us, the program is still this morning. We are looking at study opening us. We are expecting to get Colton Hall to join us via Zoom. So very importantly, look at issues surrounding the international in the US. Look at all of that and the incentives they are giving. But for now, the client relationship of Scovers Education, Mr. Gabriel, we are hoping we could get that very quickly, and I'm hoping, I really want to speak to Mr. Colton Hall very, very, so that he can give a broader part to what all this entails here. Now, when you give, one of the things some persons will ask, okay, I've been able to go through all of this. Is there any arrangement need in-school arrangement to manage the person. Some of them need jobs to actually go on. Some need to do other things.
Okay, so the great locations that we work with is that you are permitted to work part-time.
Good.
So which allows you to work full-time in the US. These are regular pathways.
Good.
So usually when we even talk to people that do not into the US and they see it's actually true. So anybody who is going to the US or Canada or whichever location, they get to work part-time out of their visa category.
I don't know whether I can basic client relationship manager. I know you brought base here. I don't know whether they're having problems with Mr. Hall here. Look at the University Party International at the UPI. What special incentives do they have?
Okay. The program that is put together a set of A-list universities. In fact, on the faculty, we have a faculty Harvard. Anybody who
that's lovely.
So
somehow, you know, those when you call Harvard those days, Harvard,
Yes, so it means that the standard is really high, and that's not the only. We have Penn State, we have Rice, we have Brown, we have very amazing universities. So the idea is when it goes through UPI, you have to A-list students, that's the top universities in the world. You'd have access to discount. Any university you already have a discount. If you have very good grades, you can get to 100% when you're done. 2 years gives you like a diploma degree. Refer to any of the countries, the US, the UK, Canada, Ireland, any of the countries within this league, and then you can get access to up to 100. So that's about it.
I mean, it looks more like a very hard train and bumper package for those who really want to go there. That. So we're still hoping and waiting. I really got this, and I'm hoping strongly, Mr. Colton Hall, to share thoughts, university pathways for the Nigerian student. Now, anyway, I'm not trying to sound a man because I know I won't take the job of Mr. here. But I know whatever Mr. are, the Trump own matter of time, they will be lifted. I'm very confident that it's a world where you have for goes on in global diplomacy. So don't lose hope, don't give up on your dreams, stay true to it, and be very here. The Nigerian students who are hoping to come under the UPI incentives and all of them. What will be like? That's what they ask. Yeah. Because I stay the person, so the person will set his mind out to, if you are tell the mom, tell uncle, tell this. If you don't have, then you can start saving and working.
Okay, yes. So it's going to be $4,000 normally for Scovers education. We have a school of over 7,000. So what with on the UPI going to make a pay $50, which is way below 1,000
for the tuition. So now, because if you don't state it clearly, many concerns accommodation and several others. You state it clearly, tuition, get that very clearly.
Yes.
So that when you're coming, don't come here and tell you, Mr. Gabriel deceived you. He never deceived. He's telling you the truth here. Some parts have been taken away. You're going to enjoy heavy discount here. The others you can take care of, but tuition, they've been able to get that off for you.
Yes. So basically, it's the first 2 years is online and self-paced. So that's about.
Okay, if we have let's see if we can take it quickly. If Mr. Clayton is already on Zoom, okay. Mr. Clayton, can you please speak with us? What incentives are we getting from the university initiative that the UPI? Let's get to it quickly. Victor on that, but where the going abroad the benefit of UPI initiative?
UPI studies students around the world. We're an essentially a gateway for students that are credit, but they can transfer into university. They can transfer and enter as a student from that where they will finish out online or in person. Fully accredited program, and our whole mission with initiative, with our partnership, scope organization, is to reduce and responsible.
Okay, another one I asked before we just quickly. What I asked in here for the students going in, I know we got how do you navigate the part of some challenges?
So I have a little bit of an issue. I believe you're asking sort of how we help students get the journey, and so that's one of the things through our embassy verification as well. We're able to ensure that they're seamlessly for the credit invest for the university, make sure that there's issues that is, and if there is any that earns between UBIT and the scope.
Very much, Horton, Mr. Accountant, for short with us. We'll be in touch with you next week on that to discuss on our initiative. Mr. for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And it's now time for us to look at the action, the release of Melina now to look at the topic, the issue of the release of the abducted students from the Catholic school here. Government is saying release. Some to go beyond that in propaganda, say rescue. There's no rescue. The question was ransom paid. Will this happen again? What are we putting in place? We'll now take you over to our Lagos Network Center, where Mr. Lena Nkwo is standing by to actually go with our guest on issues of adoption and what should be done to avert or to ensure that such do not happen again in the country. Over to you, Lagos.
Many thanks, Harata. Thank you so much. Welcome to our Lagos Network studio. Thank you for joining us this beautiful morning on CMI. I am Marcelina Nkwo. Okay, this morning we would be talking about 30 guests that have been PPUs and teachers that have been rescued. You know, early, November 21st, we saw that 350 PPUs and teachers were from a school in Niger State, and now we saw that the remaining 130. A lot of questions, you know, people are asking was ransom paid? Because after weeks in captivities, relief swept across Niger State as 130 school children and teachers regain their freedom. Families are reuniting just on a time for holidays. But beyond the celebration lies a troubling question that says, how did these armed men invade the school and walk away with hundreds of children? Today we look beyond just the rescue to examine what this incidents reveal about Nigerian security in this country. The issue of insecurity has been a major problem. We would be talking about the Nigerian insecurity. Will it happen again? What major steps are the government needs to take? I mean, seeing these children being rescued or being released, it's a good thing. They're coming home to spend the Christmas with their family. It's a good thing. But nobody has been captured. Nobody has been arrested. Nothing said that, okay, we were able to, apart from one, Dr. Victor, apart from the one notorious kidnapper that was arrested, we've not heard of any other cases of any kidnappers that have been kidnapped. And we've not heard that this 130 students that were actually released, we didn't hear that, okay, we kidnapped this, we arrested this certain amount of persons, or these people were arrested, these people were captured. Saw that they were rescued and they actually came, they were transported under tight security, you know, escorts and all of that, and they reunited with their family, and the formal handover ceremony even took place. And, you know, a lot of persons have been that. We are happy that those children and the teachers are back to their family. But are schools supposed to, are we still going to be scared? I mean, are parents still going to trust the school or trust the government to take their children back to school? And where are schools most targeted areas where these kidnappers go to kidnap? I mean, they kidnap on the highway, maybe you're traveling, but schools are the most targeted area. What would you have to say?
Okay, thank you for having me. Schools present the kind of vulnerability that you might not be able to get otherwise on so many fronts. One, anything that has to do with children will elicit a lot of sympathy. Okay? And when you have children as thieves, if you are attacking such a place, the damage will be such that, apart from the physical damage to lives and all that, even emotional damage, emotionally, people will react if you storm such a place to go and then, in an attempt to free the children, you kill some of them. It's going to be so. For this series, understand that. So right from the Chibok girls' time to the other subsequent school kidnappings and all that, it has become a regular pattern. And so this series uses it as a tool for negotiation. Okay? Sometimes they would trade these children for some of their own that are in prison. You know, so okay, look, if you want these children back, release our leaders or commanders that are under custody or that have been convicted or are in prison. So I guess that's what makes it such an attractive area for them. But it's unfortunate that these patterns have to be repeated over and over and over. We've talked about safe schools, but what are we really doing about it? You know, we might argue and say, can you spread the number of police or security personnel we have among all the schools? Not necessarily, but there's such a thing as intelligence. And intelligence does not require you wearing uniform. The security man sitting in front of you has to be an intelligence officer. You may not know. He will come and see that he might sit down with you in the neighborhood for the next 6 months or 1 year. And he can be speaking any language. You will just see if they're dressed anyhow. And he could be an intelligence officer. The boyfriend or girlfriend that you have or that they have or whatever could just be an intelligence officer. They do whatever it takes to get information. And so they infiltrate places where they suspect that they might be able to get information. They even join these people, stay with them long enough, and stay on that cover side, they will not be discovered, just so they can get information. Now, this is what they are trained to do.
Okay.
But do they do it, or how well do they do it? Because you see, no matter what you do, it's not going to be effective unless there's a willingness. Now, the Great Wall of China, as secure as it was at the time, was broken into in those days several times. And each time, what was responsible for the break-in or the penetration into China itself? The human element. It always took one human being to open the door, the gates, for them to penetrate in spite of the war. There's always a human element. So no matter what you do, the human element is very, very important, and that is where our security architecture fails every time.
Okay. Does this rescue, Dr. Victor, signal a real improvement in the Nigerian security response, or was it just a fortunate outcome?
I don't know what you mean by fortunate outcome. Well, fortunate for the parents, let's put it that way.
For the parents.
But it doesn't. You know, I said so because you heard what El-Rufai said. We may accuse him, but sometimes you can forget the messenger. Just listen intently to the message. You don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. He has accused or alleged that the Office of National Security Advisor is paying billions to these terrorists. We might say it's not true, it's a lie, but it bears investigation. There's a need to look at it more closely. Because in reality, look at it this way, there's a delicate balancing act. The government is trying to look good, because if anything happens to these kids, the government will look bad, however I want to say it. Okay? Nothing must happen to them. And so they say, okay, don't pay money to terrorists. Like Rufai said, he would not pay terrorists. He will not pay terrorists. He will not negotiate and pay them any money. Okay. So the question is, if you are a parent, would you want, what would you rather? That government just pays and let your children come back? That's a deal on hand. Mm-hmm. On the other end, you find a situation where when you give into these terrorists and you pay them money, they go and restock. Their raw materials are bullets, armored vehicles, and guns. Okay? These are their raw materials. They will stock so that they can do more business. Okay? So the question is, how do you balance between these two? And so on the one hand, the Office of National Security Advisor and the military and the police, they have a mandate, go and get these kids. But how do you get these kids without collateral damage? So it's a delicate balancing act. And that's why I bring in the human element again. And this human element thing is where you have the challenge. There was somebody that was accused recently, I don't know if it's by arrest or so, a colleague of or an ally of Sheikh Gumi, who was accused of, said one of the monies that they paid, his own share from it was about 50 million naira. So when you begin to see things like that, who are these negotiators? And trusting Nigerians. When I say Nigerians, many of these corrupt officers, we are Nigerians too, but a lot of people who are corrupt, they will go and say, okay, they will negotiate with the terrorists and tell them, okay, look, this is your... we have heard them say, we know where they are. We speak to them, we talk to them. We've not been able to arrest them.
Exactly, because when they freed the students, they were transported under a tight security, escorted by armored vehicles to Mina. And of course, a formal handover ceremony was made. And a lot of questions Nigerians are asking at this point is, where did you pick them from? I mean, you guys were, to pick all
but
this.
The terrorists so gentle, say, okay.
Okay, just come and...
Just come. And if at all, who's with them? And on what conditions? Nigerians are not fools. We're happy that these kids are back. Make no mistake about that. For me, every life matters. Every single life matters. But you know where these people are. Can you not, if you know who they are and where they are, why not take preemptive action? Why don't you be proactive? Go there, exterminate them before they even take off. Why must they always try carry people and then go and negotiate? Unless there's big business in it.
Yeah, so you think they're working together?
Well, maybe not officially, but unofficially, obviously. They are gaining from it. Otherwise, this would have ended. If there was no profit in this business, honestly, some people in government would have ended it a long time ago.
Just call it business.
That's what it is. If there was no profit in this business, people would have ended it a long time ago. It's not profitable. They will end it. But if there are people who are me, then obviously, it's like, let it continue.
I mean, a lot of people are scared. Parents are scared. I was so happy when I saw the video that these persons, the students and teachers, they've been rescued, spending Christmas with their family. But people are scared taking their children. That's what we saw, right? And like I said, a lot of Nigerians are asking who was behind it.
A rescue means you went there, you fought those people, and you rescued them.
No,
that's what they rescued.
No.
This one, they just went to collect them. They went to collect them, not rescue them.
A lot of Nigerians, like I said earlier, they are asking who was behind it, how they freed, how did we, because they are not telling us all those things. And that is what Nigerians want to hear. Because at this point, a lot of parents are still scared. Now it's the Yuletide season, Christmas and, celebration and all of that. Before you knew it, schools will resume. People are scared. If we take our children back to school, what would happen? Are the schools safe? Now they are coming out to tell us that these children, they brought the children back to their parents. Beautiful, it's a good thing. But you're not telling us how were they rescued? How did you send? Only what we saw, they took them to their parents, an armored car, security tights and all of that. How? That is what Nigerians are asking. I don't know. Can these people just come out and tell us how?
They won't.
Wow.
We will not.
Interesting.
Like I say, it's business. It's business. That's purely what it is. For some people in authority, it's business. They are profiting from it. It's one easy way to steal Nigerian money. It's one very easy way. When you know who the people are, you say, okay, look, this is, if we can finish, we will not. If you capture anyone, our share is 70%. No problem. We'll collect money, we'll give you what is our share. It's business.
Okay, Dr. Victor, at this point, now that we've seen that these children are back to their family, so I don't want to use the word released again, but that's what that was actually what
collected.
Collected. That was what they told us, or that was what we saw on the internet. As the government at this point done enough to secure rural schools, especially those schools in the rural area in high risk kids?
No way.
Oh, you don't think?
The day students are captured and we see the military go after them and they kill off those people and do a proper rescue, then I know that we have started.
But they've arrested one of the highest, this bandits, one of the leader of this kidnappers. They've arrested one of them. See. So at this point, with all those things.
Wait, I will make some predictions. If he doesn't die in custody, if he doesn't escape through a prison brick, if he's not released one way or another, it will be a miracle. You know why? Because for that guy that shot, he has information. Heads will roll. You think those heads that will roll will sit down and wait for him to come and expose them? Heads will roll. He will say what, he will not go down alone. He will want to. I don't know who those responsible for capturing him, but if government is sincere, we will know from that one, because these people have information. They have collaborators, both within and outside, the military and security agencies. The heads will roll. And if they want to be transparent, let them make the sit in public. Let them invite to the world let them make the sit in public, the trial public. The same way they make Nnamdi Kanu's trial public and these other people. Let them make it public.
So Nigerians will see.
We will not only see, we will hear. So that we will know. And let there be questions, let the right questions be asked. Let them talk about those they have been collaborating with, how they get their arms. These arms don't fly from the sky. How do you get your arms? Who is supplying these arms? How do you get paid for previous kidnappings? How do you manage it now? And as we not rule in this country.
I mean, I see video of some families traveling to Enugu State for Christmas, and they were kidnapped on the way, like the husband, wife, children, and a lot of persons. I mean, some persons are still traveling, traveling and praying to God that God, please, let destination, let me destination in good health, successful, in one piece. Thank you. And I got to start asking myself. I started thinking, at what point are we going to travel in peace in this country without being scared that you might be kidnapped on the way, or one or two things, or something would happen? At what point are we going to tackle the issue of insecurity that have been a major problem in this country? At what point will the issue of insecurity stop?
You know what? I find it funny that you have, especially down south, so many roadblocks. You talk about Enugu, a family that was traveling down and then they were kidnapped. I can assure you that along that route, between where she was taken, she took off from to where she was going, you will find not less than 20 or 30, each of them maybe less than 100 meters from each other.
The funniest thing is they were actually a checkpoint close to where they were kidnapped.
So what happened? That's the question. What happened? When it happened, the people at that checkpoint, could they not have radioed or called their people at both ends? What did they do? So it's the lack of sincerity is what gets to me, really. The lack of, So I come back to what Rufai was saying. Leave the messenger, but listen to the message. He must know something the rest of us don't know. He's saying that the Office of National Security Advisor is giving billions to these people. I keep saying security fund is one easy way to steal money because you don't account for it. The kidnappers say they want 100 million. Okay, we have to give them, if not, these children will die. And if these children die, you know it's not good for our image as a government. The president will say, okay. Then, in addition to the 100 million, they will ask for logistics. Then when they go to these people, they say, look, we are bringing this money. We can wipe you if we want to. You know, we know where you are. I'm quoting them because they say they know who they are, where they are. You know, it's like when policemen in an area, robbery can go and know that. But then they catch a big man's child. Immediately, they know who and who to go and. You know what I mean? They know the crooks in the area. They know who to grab, and that person will show up. Or whatever was stolen will reappear. Do you get? So it's the same thing. So it's like, look, we are coming up with this money, and we have to give it 30 million, this 100 million, this 70. You know, we have to settle. It's typical. It's not, you don't need anything. It's just business.
So you mean if the government wants to end it now, they would end it?
Look, rank and file soldiers have told us that they have what it takes to end banditry, terrorism in 24 hours. If they can, if their organs will just allow them. They have said it. Do you understand what I'm saying? The police and the intelligence agencies, they know where these people are. You got what I'm trying to say? You can't tell me they overpower who. How have they? I saw one, I don't know how true this is, so don't take my word for it. Okay. When I woke up this morning, I saw someone that another brigadier general has been killed and shot dead. Has been shot and killed rather. I'm waiting for confirmation. If it is true, that will be very sad. Do you understand? You see brand new vehicles that they will get, armored vehicles and all that. Before you know that, these people will attack. They will carry them away. How? Who gives them information? How can you come to a whole army formation? Or if there's a convoy going, you just say they come and attack and then they carry some away. Unless there's information and then the people are just feeding them, giving them all these things. You know how many times they've gotten, I heard recently, is it a DPO also committed suicide because they discovered that he was not giving arms to these terrorists.
Wow.
He's not the only one. That's why at least even has shame. You know what I mean? He has shame. He committed suicide. You know how many more with impunity are doing it till tomorrow?
So, Dr. Victor, if I should ask, what concrete steps should be taken to prevent another mass adoption?
To prevent mass school adoption, abductions, I started by saying at the beginning of this conversation that intelligence is very, very important. If the intelligence agencies really want to work, even within the school system, within the schools, you can plant a teacher intelligence officer. You understand? And we can spread them. And intelligence does not necessarily always mean officials of state. There are people who are paid in communities who are informants. You know, they are informants to government. So around the school, in the villages, in the communities, there are people who are paid by government. Their job is to just get information and feed government with it. I think that government can take advantage of this. But the problem is gatekeepers. Because if this information comes, it passes through a system. There are people who hijack this information and turn it around and withhold it from government, from those who should act. That's the problem. So who do you have at point in time? I go back to the Chinese, the wall of China. The human element is the weakest point in every security architecture or plan. So can we prevent it? We need to both formal and informal intelligence. We need to employ them around the school systems. We plant within the school, plant around the school and around the communities. If you notice any movement, immediately make calls. And when calls are made, there should be instant mobilization. Not wait until the people have gone. Because to carry about 100 and something or 300 and something kids It's not. You are not carrying.
That's a lot.
You are carrying a bottle of granite now. You are carrying human beings. Are you saying? Do you know the sheer logistics you require to carry even 50 people, 100, 200, 300 people, and they are moving, and they are kids. So to carry those people, you will need at least between 30 to 50 armed people, and all of that, and they are moving, and nobody. As they are moving in a direction. Is somebody seeing it? So I think our intelligence needs to be revamped, but also sincerity on the part of government. And National Security Advisor, the Ministry of Defense, the police, military, and all that, they should be up and alive to their duties.
So
if there's sincerity,
what about
things will work.
Okay, what about the police that was withdrawn from VIPs? Do you think it's actually helping?
Well, see, it should, because if you take away security from VIPs will be more concerned about national security.
Okay.
You understand? But as long as they are protected, if vulnerable like the rest of us, I can promise you everybody will be safe. I'll give you a small example. I was traveling, there was a day, I was going from Abuja to Kaduna. I traveled from Lagos to Abuja. From the airport, went to Kurujo, where the train station is, to go to Kaduna. I did something I did this year. The same day that there was a train, there was a train crash or derailment or something, not arms. So on my trip back from Kaduna, if you saw, it was a Friday. I know Friday is when all the big men they leave Abuja, go to Kaduna. The security I saw that day. I mean, when I was going the day of that crash, because it was the day of that crash, I didn't see more security as such. But when we were coming back, because there was no train available, when I saw, I said, oh, so big men don't want to die. And so the withdrawal will make people more conscious. It will make people cry out more for security. But if you know that nothing will harm you, then you don't care about the other people. Unfortunately, that's how they behave. So I wish that it will be permanent, so that all of us have the same level of security. People will be more conscious and the whole government more accountable.
All right, Dr. Victor Okai, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all Nigerians for joining our Lagos Network studio this morning on talking on TMI this morning, talking about the 130 students and teachers that were rescued, you know, from the kidnappers in Niger State. I mean, they've reunited with their families. It's a good one. But the questions Nigerians are asking is who were captured, you know, who has been arrested? Has any of these kidnappers been arrested? So we're waiting for the government to give us an answer. Thank you once again for joining us on TMI this morning. We would be handing over to Benin for the continuation on TMI. I am Marcelina Unko. Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
ITV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them over, dragging on both sides, you cannot. You cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is.
Independent Television, the news updates at 9:30. My name is Evan Sudokogi. Some Benin natives on a Monday performed at the 2025 Igwe-Dohia Festival. Ikponsa Ogiagbe, who monitored the festival in Benin City, reports.
The Igwe-Dohia Festival is an annual traditional rite performed by Benin natives at the end of every year. In some homes visited in Benin City, the head of the family, surrounded by his wife, children, and friends, carried out the Igwe-Dohia rites. Items required for the festival include a bowl of sliced coconut, pieces of kola nuts, and livestock depending on the family's capacity, which are used to offer prayers for thanksgiving and protection. Some celebrants say the Igwe festival provides an opportunity to thank God and the ancestors for guidance and protection throughout the outgoing year. From Benin, Ikmomosa Ugiagbe, ITV News.
In continuation of the 2025 annual Ugi, natives of Benin have celebrated Ugiawe to usher peace into the land and homes. Ikmonsa Ugiawe reports that during the ceremony, celebrants move from house to house, offering their Ewe leaves, which symbolizes appeasement of nature for peace.
Ugiawe is celebrated to drive evil away from homes and the entire land while ushering in peace. During the celebration, firewood, known as ubi, is taken from homes and discarded, symbolizing the casting away of evil. Participants then return with Ewe leaves to usher peace into homes and the land. The Ewe leaves are presented to individuals amid singing and dancing. Some recipients of the Ewe leaves describe the tradition as a source of great joy and blessing.
Onagati iwe mese iwe mi ne doing ori tele ade.
The 2025 annual Ugi is expected to climax with a Thanksgiving service at the Holy Awosa on Sunday, 28 December. From Benin, Ikmomosa Ugiagbe, ITV News.
In the meantime, the rich cultural heritage of Benin Kingdom unfolded at the residence of the Esama of Benin on Tuesday as different groups and personalities trooped in to celebrate the Ugiawe, a festival of purification and blessings. Pius Nsogo reports that a cheerful rendition of tributes and homage in honor of the Esama of Benin characterized the event.
In Benin culture, Ewe leaves are traditionally used for purification, blessings, and the making of important events. Several groups, families, and individuals continued to troop into the house of Igbenedion to pay tribute and celebrate Ogewe with the Esama of Benin, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawo Igbenedion. The list of visitors was endless. Different cultural groups, families, professional bodies, and social clubs all took turns to celebrate the season with the Esama of Benin. In an interview, the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawo Igbenedion, spoke on the significance of the traditional Ewe leaf, noting that tradition has a vital role in shaping community values and ensuring peace and harmony among the people.
Today is New Year Day for Benin. We receive a word today, as you are a Benin man, to pray to say thank you for Lord for attending another year.
Also present were the Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, Igwosa, led by their Superior General, Sister Josephine Ebuehi, as well as members of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, Edo State Branch, who paid courtesy visit to the Esama, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawo Igbenedion. From Benin, Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
It was another evening of joy and songs of glad tidings as the House of Igbenedion, as the Archdiocesan Choir of the Catholic Archdiocese of Benin, led by the chaplain of the Catholic Choir in Nigeria, Very Reverend Father James Chima Okosisi, rendered soul-lifting Christmas carols and 3 Bible readings in honor of the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawo Igbenedion. Pius Nsogo reports that the Christmas carol service brought together friends of the House of Igbenedion, including the Chancellor of the Catholic Archdiocese of Benin, Very Reverend Father Michael Oyanofo.
The Archdiocesan Choir kick-started the evening with the symbolic carol, "O Come Let Us Adore Him," which resonated on the lips of the audience. Other Christmas songs followed and were equally relished by guests. The first Bible lesson read by Deacon Mike Nosa Ehima was taken from Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 to 28, focusing on the creation story. The second reading, Genesis chapter 3, verses 8 to 15, which centered on the fall of man, was read by Dorcas Oshigwe.
But the Lord God called the man, "Where are you?" He answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked."
More joyful songs were rendered to the delight of the Esama of Benin, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawo Igbenedion, while the Chancellor of the Archdiocese of Benin, Very Reverend Father Michael Oyanofo, took the third reading on the birth of Jesus from Luke chapter 2, verses 1 to 7.
While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son.
In our homily, Reverend Father James Chima Okosisi spoke strongly against perpetrators of violence and wanton killings in parts of the country, saying it was time for such acts to stop. He thereafter commended the Esama of Benin for his fatherly role to all.
It is time of joy. It is time of peace. It's a time we sit together as family and let us rediscover ourselves again.
Christmas carols, which are songs traditionally sung to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, have a long and rich history and continue to give hope to humanity. From Benin, Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
The draws for the third edition of the CADA Unity Cup for military and paramilitary organizations, scheduled to kick off on the 1st of February 2026, have been conducted in Benin City. Efosa Wangwe, who captured highlights of the draw, reports that unlike the previous 2 editions, 12 teams will participate in this year's tournament, which is expected to last 2 weeks.
The military and paramilitary football tournament, tagged the Kada Unity Cup, is the brainchild of former Edo State Governor Chief Lucky Igbinedion. The competition aims to foster unity and cooperation among security agencies through sports. Since its debut in 2024, the tournament has continued to strengthen the bond among participating outfits. Speaking during the 2026 draw ceremony, Chairman of the Edo State Football Association, Fred Newton Erunse, expressed appreciation to the donor and former governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Igbinedion, for sustaining the initiative. He noted that this year's edition promises to be exciting and revealing, with the addition of 2 new teams, bringing the total number of participants to 12. He assured that officiating will meet the highest standards as professional referees will be deployed, adding that the tournament is steadily gaining national and international recognition, with the final of the last edition broadcast live on DSTV.
We are kicking off 1st of February, and it's good for you to know your opponents and to know your group, and as well to know the rules and regulation that is going to cover this year's event. His Excellency is very, very keen about how this tournament is going to go this year.
The Vice Chairman of the Edo State Football Association, Paul Ojeseroba, coordinated the draw, which produced 4 groups with 3 teams each.
Each team will play each other in the group stage, and at the end of the group stage, 2 teams qualify. That's the top 2 teams, the first and the second teams qualify for the quarterfinal stage. The quarterfinal stage will comprise of 8 teams. So 8 teams will then slot it out to the semi-final stage, and then to define the top place at the final stage.
Representatives of the various participating organizations were present at the ceremony, with some seeking clarification on grey areas. Members of the local organizing committee were also in attendance. Teams participating in the 2026 edition include the Nigeria Army, Nigeria Police Force, Department of State Services, DSS, EFCC, Nigeria Immigration Service, NGLEA, NSCDC, Nigeria Correctional Service, Federal Fire Service, and the National Youth Service Corps. The Nigerian Police Force are the defending champions, having defeated the NSCDC in the 2nd edition. From Benin, Efosa Wangwe, ITV News.
And with that report from Efosa Wangwe, we end the news update at 9:30. Thanking you for watching. Don't forget to join us at 12 o'clock for an update. My name is Evan Sunukugi. Good morning.
ITV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them or dragging on both sides, you cannot. You cannot breathe. And these women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another beautiful one on TMI Social. We'll talk about trending updates on social media. Merry Christmas to you all out there. I am wrestling. Right, the first story trending on social media. We saw a video of the governor, Shea Makinde, where he says that I wasn't with President Tinubu. Yes, some weekend orders when we can vote the people against 2027, and I was in shock. Wike can support the president in 2027, but are not. And this particular video has got a lot of people talking. You know how we do to TMI Socials? We get to see the video, and of course, people think about a particular story, and of course, different people went reaction. Let's take a video before we go to the reaction.
Have a government of national unity, a government of national competence, you know, we will have been in a better environment right now. And let's mention again this issue of Wike. This,
your friend. Your friend, Wike.
My friend, Wike. Okay. Was the exact first contact that gave to Macron. I was $20 million. Within that 1 year, I made $1 million in my pocket.
Interesting. This particular video has gotten a lot of people talking, but let's look at the reaction. Okay, this person CEO says, "Beam at the own blood pressure. You go learn. They are all in their pockets." Interesting. Let's take a look at another reaction. Another person says, "We all know this is true. Wike's agreement with was to frustrate the PDP Tinubu finishes. A return, he gets a little power." All right, let's take a look at the reaction. Josh Mas, "I knew all politicians knew Tinubu is not in 2023, but we all know most people said him because of what the desire to benefit. Nigerians are individually but collectively fooled." Okay, another person says, Prince Daniel, "Of course, the more politically naive knows that this is what Wike is doing him in PDP. Look at how they're trying to confusion in a court party because government won the governorship ticket. Why is Tinubu and APC afraid of competition if they've done well?" Okay, let's take a look at another reaction. This other person says, "How the pet when you said him in 2020, be a Buddha for you. It is better than you to the extent that is ready to complete what he has started. You just woke up from your slumber. Your tenure is ended. You go explain, tire." Let's look at the action. Wike should let PDP move to APC. PDP gave him the platform that made him relevant. So now wants to destroy the party. Interesting. Okay, that I will still on TMI Socials. What are the updates on social media? You know, a couple of the factions, you know, governance, different politicians acting from their party to another party, especially to the ruling party APC. And we saw a video of Governor Alex Oti where he says that those waiting for me to defer to APC will have to wait a longer time. Everyone has options and circumstances. You didn't join APC because of many other governors, meaning that they are waiting for him to join will wait for a very long time. You've seen a video of different video of some government coming out that they've been pressured to join the of the factions. Like it is even giving a leg, and a lot of saying that is a vast because of all this affection. APC standard chance 27 for the 20 coming election, and that a lot of persons are asking, and we're keeping our fingers crossed till that time. All right, this particular video of Governor Alex Oti has got a lot of people talking on social media. Of course, you know, different people with their different reactions. Look at the video before we go to the reaction.
To say I'm not defective, but Sonny,
wants me to defect, and I've navigated him to go and defect on my behalf. Oh, are you there? Waiting to receive. You wait for a minute. All right. So, well,
Interesting. All right, let's take a look at people's reaction about this particular video. This person, James Lindad, says, politicians, just like businessmen, if you take their words as the truth, you'll fool around and find out. It is possible they are at the negotiation table, and this is just a jab at APC. I mean, it's negotiation, but you are here his words for his crazy. Okay, that's another reaction. This other person said, oh yeah, now let's see how long it's gonna take you to defect. But we know you will shoulder the facts to AP. Okay. Another hope said, and also said a mass and political patience and dualism, loyalty, strategy, and circumstances are heard mentally, reminding observers that in this timing is as valuable as alignment, and convinced rarely takes convention. Interesting. Let's take a look at another reaction. This other person said he's not defecting and he will win second term. All it could be rigged. We are going to wait. We're going to vote for him. Okay, this is all we take on TMI Socials. There's a beautiful morning on ITV from Lagos Network Studio. Once again, Merry Christmas to you all out there. And we want to say thank you to from Lagos Network Studio, from Abuja Network Studio, and also from Benin Network Studio. Thank you all for also my this beautiful morning. Merry Christmas to you all.